here's our friend, Chris, who's made these awesome Star Wars kits for us. Hey, Chris, welcome.
G'day.
I was hoping, I saw these pictures you were sharing with us, and I was hoping you could talk us through them a little. Which one's your favorite, first of all?
I would have to say the X-Wing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What makes it your favorite? Tell us the story, come on. That is brilliant. So this is the 1/72 scale?
This is the 1/72 scale X-Wing, yeah, from Bandai. I enjoyed doing the weathering on it. It's probably why it's my favorite. And the painting of R2-D2 and Luke and the cockpit was a lot of fun to do.
Please tell me you have close-up photos of your R2-D2.
I do.
Sweet. Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to put them into the video
with
here.
the $2 coin.
Sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
The magic of video.
Yeah.
I'm going to slice them in for you. That's awesome. Well, what kind of steps did you go through? Did you paint this in parts or fully assembled?
I painted this fully assembled.
Yeah.
So it's basically construction. Obviously, the cockpit has to be done first.
Yes.
Painted first, and then put it together with the model.
Right.
And then you got to mask the cockpit over.
Right.
But otherwise, once it's all constructed, then it's painted. So I used Gaia for
nice.
all my painting.
Hey, what did you use? And I'm totally not going to steal this from you, but what did you use for your base X-Wing color? Do you remember?
The base X-Wing color was actually prime grey.
Oh, nice.
The primer grey.
The Evo one.
The Evo one.
Nice, yeah. That's a really nice primer, isn't it? Quite smooth.
And then the yellows, I believe, I can't remember actually. The yellows were hand painted.
Nice.
The reds were the decals.
Yes.
Yeah, and the blues were hand painted as well.
I'm so happy to hear that you hand painted sections of it.
Yes.
Bravo. I mean, too much relying on masking and airbrushing. Sometimes.
Actually, out of modeling, masking is the worst job.
You're preaching my thing. Yeah, masking is like punishment, isn't it?
Absolutely, right. Yeah.
And
it's the only job in modeling that I just hate doing, masking.
This is one of the things I really like about your work, seriously, is that you've also invested a great deal of effort into brush mastery by painting figures, etc. as well. Yeah. Haven't you felt that then enables you to go straight in with a brush? You have the confidence. You go, why mess around masking this? It's small. I can just zoom in and hand paint it, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
And you get fairly accurate with brush painting as well.
Yeah. Sorry, folks. I was totally off shot with that one. That's all on me. We're short-handed today. All right. That's brilliant. What did you do for the weathering? Because this looks very legit ILM sort of, X-Wing here.
Yeah, so I use sponging mainly for the chipping.
Let's call it its correct name. Spongering.
Spongering, yeah, for the chipping, and then everything else is oil-based. Weathering with.
Thank you very much for agreeing
and
with my bad jokes, Tsang. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. Yeah, so that's my process of weathering. If there's chipping to be done, there would be spongering and then some touch-ups with a very fine brush to add some extra chips here and there.
How did you go with the spiral markings?
Is that a water slide? They're decals. Yeah. So any of the colours. How
go? Were they like 3D formed? Was it difficult to get them onto that tube structure?
Not too bad. Okay. Once you put the fix, the liquid, I can't remember what it's called, the decal fix.
Okay. Dear friends, it's very early in the morning. We're here before Hobbyco opens, so if we seem a little bit lower IQ than usual, that's the main reason.
Yeah.
The decal solution.
The decal solution, then it melts them onto the model.
That's one of the only things I was looking at it going, wow. I mean, I can probably, if I needed to mask that in 1/48 scale, I'm reasonably confident. But in 1/72, it's getting small.
Yeah.
Look, that's a lovely finish, and the base is super well done too. That's a straight airbrush job, right?
Yeah, correct. Cool. Yeah. So basically, just airbrush.
Why are you making
oil
me
wash.
move the model around when I'm the one holding the camera? Surely you should be helping with this.
And then I tried to have the torpedo going down the tube,
of course.
right? Which that's just oil paint to give that sort of effect.
I am upset that you did not go full OSL, object source lighting, on that one.
Yeah.
But actually, I think rather than that one, if one of our friends wanted to light that up, an LED is probably the better choice.
Well, that was kind of what I had intended, to have an LED just in there, so it would help brighten the red.
Sure.
The red.
Okay, so we're thinking the same.
That was the intention. It's just I never got around to that.
Sure thing. Did you start something new and shiny instead of doing that?
Yes.
Yes. So you are
I moved
doing.
on to the next.
You are plastic modeling, correct? New and shiny.
Yes.
Awesome. So the kit easy to make?
Very easy. I mean, all the Bandai kits are.
Okay.
They just fly together. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the molds, the sculpts are just insane. So you can just put it together, put a wash on it, and call it done.
I've seen friends comment that. The details
pretty
just
good.
Really poppy.
The detail is amazing. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, especially on the Falcon with the engines in the back and the bits that you can see inside. It's just.
Phil, please tell us a little bit more about this one now. I mean, this is beautiful.
Yeah. So this one.
I'm not just about the base on this one. I'm not.
So this one again was painted in with Gaia notes, primed grey. I do have, and so all the recesses I painted with a brown red, brown red Gaia.
Oh yeah.
And then I have made a mix, grey mix with blue in it.
Yeah.
So there's that sort of around the outside.
Okay. Did you apply that as a filter, wash, or how was that applied?
Airbrushed.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm asking another question then. What sort of ratio do you think you thin that to?
2 to 1.
So still reasonably opaque.
2 thinner to 1 paint.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But you just go very light, right?
Okay.
Because Gaia is quite transparent if you go very easy on the trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can to counteract the red brown, I use that blue color.
Okay.
And then they have an interior color which is kind of
Yes. Oh, I know
skin
that
highlight color. It's very, very nice actually.
Is that what you call it? Okay. See, I think of it as.
I think of it as a skin highlight color.
It's one of their most useful colors.
It's very useful.
A bunch of the guys in the Japan studios were using that for various things too. We started using it as snow camo start color.
Okay.
But yeah, it's super good, isn't it?
It is very, very good. The interior color is
I'm
great.
So happy
and then
that you like that too.
I use that as the highlights, right?
Yeah.
So the top and the top here. So it kind of goes a warmer and then a cooler color.
I see
like
it.
This.
Yeah. Because you've got the warm highlights here.
Yes.
So I
correct. And the warm highlights at the top, and then it goes down to a cooler color here.
See, you've got to talk more Spanish modeling product. So, you know how our mates, I remember Mig Jimenez and those guys, probably about 10, 12 years ago, they started putting the word filter on everything, which it just meant, but in figures we call that a glaze.
Right.
But it's all basically the same thing.
Right.
So what you've done with the light glaze was you cool most of the model around the extremities, right?
Correct, yeah.
And then you've warmed it up because the interior color is slightly warm. You've spotlighted it here.
Correct, yes, that's right.
That's wicked cool.
And here, you know, at the top of the this structure here.
Yeah.
And then in the recesses, you may not be able to see it, but it does have kind of a brownish, reddish.
That's on the edges
again,
here?
on the edges, yeah.
Okay. It is nicely shaded so that it gives it, you can see, I think this shot helps our friends to see the wonderful lighting effects. And they're nice and subtle too. Yeah. They're not overly forced. So very, very well done.
Then I use oil wash again for all the recesses, and then I weathered this very subtly because it's supposed to be kind of new, right?
Yes.
And clean, Lando's version.
Right.
So the weathering was very subtle. No chipping actually.
Right.
Just very slight, maybe in some of the blue areas.
Did you enjoy making a model that did not require chipping?
It goes a lot faster.
Yeah.
So there is that satisfaction of building something a lot quicker without the chipping.
Yes. No, I totally get that. It's true.
And the streaking and stuff is very subtle as well. So it doesn't take a long time.
Which was faster to finish?
Oh, way faster. The Millennium Falcon.
Now, can you see the cheating?
Took me 2 weeks.
Sweet. Can you see the cheating opportunity there? We just need to make big stuff. Because sometimes the small, highly detailed ones.
Well, yeah, the X-Wing with the chipping takes a lot longer. And the weathering, because it's a lot more weathered than that one.
Yet the one that you invested more time in is your favorite still.
Yeah.
Interesting, isn't it?
I would say it's still my favorite, yeah.
But this base though, how complicated was it to do, this paint effects? Or is this just Art 101?
Not that complicated.
Yeah.
So it's basically just foam skinned with evergreen, plastic, plastic sheet, and then primed black first, and then I use white. I use the white prime actually to do the clouds, the Nebula gas clouds.
Right.
And I basically just tear
establishing your values, right? You've got the black versus the white.
Right. Yeah, and then basically I just tear up some paper.
Yeah.
It was black cardboard actually,
right.
And I just tear it up into different shapes that look.
But that was your template. You just tore up paper.
I just tore up.
That is so cool.
Cardboard, and I use that as a template to do the Nebula Clouds.
Yes.
Actually, before I paint the nebula, I use the airbrush to spit, white paint.
Sure.
Right.
Okay.
So you pull the trigger back, load the paint up in the airbrush itself, and then you push down on the air, and then it spits out the stars.
The thing we usually try to avoid at all costs.
Correct.
This time became an actual technique.
That's right. There is another.
Fun?
Oh, it's loads of fun.
Right.
Yeah.
There
is another.
Come on, I got to get his face when you say this. Were you giggling when you were doing it? You're going, I'm doing it wrong, but it looks awesome.
I had the mask on, so you couldn't see it, but I had a big smile on my face.
Giggling on the inside.
Giggling on the inside. There is another. I do use two methods to create stars.
Cool.
So the smaller stars, you use the back of a spoon, and you spray the spoon.
Yeah.
And then the paint builds up, and then flicks off. Yeah. So that's one method, and that generally creates smaller stars.
Right.
And then the larger ones, you use the method I just mentioned before.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. And then I use the cardboard with the paper templates to create the Nebula Clouds.
Yes.
And that's all just black and white. And then I just spray a clear orange to create the orange color. And there was a clear brown as well that I used to create to sort of darken the clouds here and there. And then I used a straight piece of cardboard to create these crisscross highlights. And then when that was all done, then I went in with a brush, a very fine brush, just to do a few touch-ups here and there, highlight some of the brighter clouds a bit more, create a few shooting stars and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
That is so brilliant, and it's such a good effect. Now I know we spoke previously, but with the blue and the coolness of the original version, Lando's version of the Falcon, it does work so well against your brown and orange work on the Nebula, but it does look a little bit like the Kessel Run to me.
Yeah.
And you said that was not quite intentional.
Not quite intentional, but
I wonder if the movie folks, if they intuited it that way too. They're like,
probably.
Okay, we got the blue, we decided Blue Falcon, so Kessel's Run, it's going to be orange-brown.
Yeah.
Dude, that is so cool. So now we got to pack up because they got to open the store.
Yes.
So what we'll do is though, I'm going to make a special place here. We're still in the early stages of it, folks, but when we get guests in, along with our fantastic in-house model makers, we'll make some displays for you so that you can come in and see these wonderful works here at Hobbyco QVB. And I think that'll be pretty cool. Thanks so much, Chris. No, I really appreciate you waking up early, catching the train in with me before, and he's going to work now. So what a champion. Thank you so much, Chris.
No worries.
Okay, see you, mate. Bye.
See ya.